revolution. Bookmarklets on standby.
Log online, fan page loaded and ready.
Player stats, loaded. Health check, go.
Weapons check. Eyes check, complete.
We have launched for the Informant podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Informant Podcast, your new source for information regarding Mafia Wars from Zynga. Pistol Pete from Spockholm.
Live long and prosper.
And tonight I have with me Chainsaw Chester and Jana, Death by Gucci. So what's up, everybody? I'm broadcasting live, or recorded live, from Colby, Kansas.
From Colby,
Live
Kansas.
for now. Yeehaw.
It is the oasis on the plains.
Just on a stopover?
Just on a stopover. Just left Norfolk, Nebraska.
Norfolk.
Wow, road trip.
Heading to Amarillo, Texas.
Yeehaw.
Yep.
You should stop by here and have an In-N-Out burger.
Yeah.
It's only like 5 hours, right?
Yeah. Just a short jaunt, considering how much traveling I'm doing, I guess.
It's just a
No
bit out of the
kidding.
way.
Yep. So.
Fun.
Yep.
What's going on with everybody? Are you seeing any fall out there, or is it just all summer still?
No, it's cold.
Yeah,
it
like-
got cold fast.
It did here, too.
Yeah, there was like a cold snap all of a sudden. I don't know if it's like that back, where I'm in Wichita, but it's definitely
You won't
that way.
find that in Amarillo.
I'm hoping not, because I'm not a fan of the cold.
Actually, you will. We just had a cold front come through.
See?
It was what, yesterday? No,
Yeah, about the same
day
for
before
us.
yesterday it was 107, and then today it was only like 80 something.
Well, it was,
Wow.
we drove up
No,
leaving Kansas, and it was fairly warm. Got up to Nebraska, it's 55 degrees. Like,
Yeah, it's about the
all
same
of a
here.
sudden, I'm like, should have brought a winter coat. And then it's starting to rain, too, a lot, so. But
We've got snow up in the mountains.
nice.
That's
Kind
ridiculous.
of. I know. It just went from really hot to a
Yeah.
good time of the year.
When
As long as it
When I
doesn't
flew
snow
back
down
from-
here, I'm good.
when I flew back from Sacramento, we actually had a lot of snow we saw on all the mountaintops.
Nice.
So
Very cool. So what's
It's
everybody?
nice as long as you just see it and don't have to deal with it.
I'd love to deal with it.
Spoken like a
crap
true
out of this.
Texan.
Hey, we did hit the record this year. So on Tuesday, we broke the record for the most days in a year of over 100-degree temperature.
Yeah, we did
We're
the
now
same in
7.
Kansas.
I think
So we
you
got
broke a
70
record for the country.
Did we?
Something like that. I don't know. Something
Yeah,
like that.
it was sparking hot this year. Global warming, it's a bunch of shit.
Yeah, as I'm freezing.
Yep.
We had 13 inches of snow one day this
That's
year.
so weird
So
out
I'm
there.
sitting here going, yeah, it's very odd. So global warming my ass. And it did.
Well.
Global warmed all over my ass this year.
So what's
But,
going on in
um,
game this week besides the weather?
Well, we
what is-
normally defer to Jen to tell us everything that's changed in the game.
I know.
But she's not with us tonight, so she's missed. But I guess probably
Who?
Jen.
Jen,
Who?
Jen,
you know, cute blonde loot lady.
your favoriteest
No.
person in the world.
One cute blonde I know was my wife.
So
But your wife is
Anyway.
not the loot lady.
no.
That is true. Although she spends all my loot, so she could be the lady.
Well, what's going on in Spockholm?
Well, a couple of things. Now, because in the game they've changed where there's you can potentially have 2 boss fights going at the same time. We had to do some updating to boss fighter. So the family boss fighter, that is. So it'll decide which one you're fighting and then appropriately play that particular one.
Did we know that there was going to be a choice between 2?
No. And I didn't notice recently if there's still a timer attached to them.
I don't think
Because
there
I
is.
thought Jeff was going to leave and then in was going to come the new one, but now they're both there. But what's kind of interesting about it though is we had talked about that, where's the Raven and is the Raven coming back? And we were always told that there was no possibility to put 2 bosses at the same time. Well, apparently they've proven now that they can put 2 boss fights going on at the same time. And there's many families that I'm aware of that are actually fighting both fights simultaneously even now. So so they're paying the reward points to get the game cooldown burnt up and then turning right around and fighting both boss fights simultaneously. So that's
Which I
kind of
think it
interesting.
makes it hard to finish it when we're scattered between two. But
Yeah, but you take some families that are finishing it in 15 or 30 minutes a pop, then even if you alternated, you can still get quite a few of them done in a relatively short amount of time.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing we were dealing with this week, and again as a result of a game change, that there's new property called the Venetian Condo that you're going to have to buy parts for or ask for parts for. It's a begging event. The property manager was breaking for some people as a result, and the fix is actually quite simple. That if you go to your New York properties page and you go down to the bottom part of it, you will now see all the properties that are available. Well, Zynga only allows you to activate 5 properties at a time, and what happens by default is the Venetian Condo is available as an active property, thereby dumping out the chop shop as an option. So and until we can get some logic put in place to check and see what your settings are on before the property manager runs, you're probably going to want to go in and disable the Venetian Condo and then, build on your chop shop, and or build your Venetian Condo, build off of your Venetian Condo, and then go in and actually just run the property manager separately, and then this way, it'll ignore, the call or the build on the Venetian Condo. So that's something we're gonna have to do a little bit of logic on to kind of square away. So
I don't understand the reasoning for making them inactive.
the only thing that came to mind, and I was really trying to, as I was driving down the road, lots of time to think, kind of thing. The only thing I can think of that maybe the reason why they've made it only 5 is because of the family progression. In the family progression, they've always said that New York properties were the only thing that counted towards the property progression part. And the only thing I can figure is maybe if they allowed, like right now, there's what,
7 properties?
6 or 7, okay. Yeah, 7 properties that are available as of this moment, and there's already, an indicator in the game that there's going to be at least 2 more that they haven't even told us what they are yet. So if they started making all those properties available for progression, then I think that's probably what would throw off progression scores, and people would be ripping through the property progression a lot faster. And I think maybe they want to try to slow that down, and that is my guess as to why they made it where it was only five properties at any given moment. That makes some sense. I'm not sure if it makes all the sense in the world because, if you build the properties up, you should be able to just build them. I mean, I don't know, but that's my 2
Exactly. You
cents.
should be able to build them. We put all the work into them.
Yeah, so. And let me think what else. The other thing is the toolbar is going through some more testing and is getting some refinements, and we should be on schedule to have it out by the end of the month like we originally talked about. So that's looking pretty good. It's going to have a nice search feature in it to search for spocklets, and it'll be configurable to look for and add additional spocklets and other JavaScript pieces of code that run in game, and then over time we'll add things like I talked about in the past, the ability to use the backup server for them, and then also to turn on the ability to add your own custom just straight links, so almost like your own bookmarklet bar. So
Very nice. I
that'll
think people are going to really love it.
I thought
yeah,
it was a Spocklet bar.
it is a Spockholm bar.
Spocklet bar. You said you're like your own bookmarklet bar.
I said
That's good.
bookmark
Your
bar.
own Spocklet bar.
Oh, you're just
It
trying to get
works.
people to drink already. I said bookmark
Yeah, yes.
bar actually.
Mm.
So, but anyway. Mm.
I like it.
Two
I
grunts,
really think
drink up.
You're going to have a lot of love.
Yep. So yeah, I think it's going to be a nice feature out there. I'm really liking it even in the testing for just the experience ratios that show up in the game on the individual job levels. And it'll actually give you an indicator
nice.
on whether or not you're going to actually be able to level based on your stamina and energy, by burning up your stamina and energy on that particular job. So that's
Without having to do your own math. It's
yes,
beautiful.
without having to do your own math. So that does make life a lot easier. I don't know game-wise. I haven't seen too much that's really changed other than the big thing being the properties. So, we've just
And then
struggled
there's
with
the
that.
declare war issue this week, too. A lot of people aren't able to ask for help when war's been declared on them or vice versa.
I have heard that too, actually, now that you mention that.
I've had a ton of issues with that with all of my
too.
postings. I can't get the Mafia Wars chat to work half the time.
Mine doesn't work either.
It doesn't update, and when I do try to post things, they just don't go. I mean, there's a lot of times when I'll try to do things like operations or whatever, and it just won't post squat.
Yeah, things feel broken, for sure. Sucks.
Yep, things get broken, things get damaged.
And I heard that there was a time this week when reward points went on for 50% off. Is that true?
I've seen actually on my own account there was a time when, as a loyal fan, there was a message about buying them at 50% off. I'm not sure it happens all the time for all players at the same time. I think it's just geared to specific players at specific intervals. There also was, and we might as well mention it, that there was an actual glitch with the new mission that came out. There were many people getting these keys to open treasure chests, and I mean getting them in mass, that they were then turning around and open treasure checks, exactly. Treasure chests, depending on how lucky they were, would depend on, many of them were getting a lot of reward points as a result of it.
Did they get rolled back? Because this didn't happen to me.
There is a lot of questions still lingering on whether or not they will roll back or they won't roll back.
Roll 'em.
I went and looked at my account, and I unfortunately didn't get anything. I've had 13. There you go. I'm unlucky 13. I had 13 treasure chest keys sitting there for a long time. So, but I did win 10 reward points on one of my keys. But but I know that there's some people that were getting bunches and bunches. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be for them to figure out what to roll back. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it or not. But anyway, so I think that's it for me. There's a few more things I'm sure in the game that I'm missing that Jen would normally pick up on, because she's written a blog post on just about everything. And if I read, I'd probably pounce over to her website and go read some stuff off there, but I don't. So
we'll just hope that she can catch us up Monday.
I'm sure she'll do a good job of that.
Well, Chester, you seem awfully lively. I guess you have something really important to talk about.
Not really. I mean,
right,
there's again nothing going on. I mean, they pulled out the second boss with little Knifey Pooh's cousin, or whatever the hell he is.
Silverio or something.
Yeah.
Keeps giving you the evil eye.
He's a douchebag just like his owner, or the other guy, whatever the hell he is.
He looks a little more seedy.
He does. He does.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just one more thing to waste all your stamina on instead of killing people. Which I don't get.
Well,
I really don't like having two at the same time. I don't know.
Well, I've noticed too, I think there's been times when people have selected the wrong one to spend the money on the cooldown timer, because they kind of flip-flop sometimes, which is not, I'm not sure if that was by design or if it's just happenstance, but I think that's a frustration to some too, is that I got to tell you the other frustration I have with it. It's somewhat trivial, but when you finish a fight now, you have to wait for them to calculate what the rewards are going to be. It doesn't come up automatically like it used to. When you finished a fight, immediately after, the collect button would be there. You'd click collect and you get your reward. Now there's a delay and it's not horribly long, but it's long enough that you notice it, that you have to wait for it to calculate what the reward is going to be, and then the collect button shows up.
Well,
what are you talking? Are you talking 5 minutes or 2 hours?
No,
shut up! I'm just trying to interrupt you.
No, you shut up. Now I lost my train of thought.
It's like 10 minutes I've seen.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, I've seen where it's been. I mean, 10 minutes is a long time when you're just done with it. I've had to walk away and then come back to see that it's actually shown up.
I've only seen the calculating timer thing there when I've actually been on to beat the boss.